we moved in together now, yeah, after our parent have accepted us, and our parent also accepted us. We did the introduction to both parents. Then now we decided now we can move in we can start a marriage. We can start something that we know, and we will ensure that's working. Even though people were talking so much negative, but one thing I would like to say, and even tell the viewers of this show, that don't be discouraged by what people say. You know, even if you try to be good, however much you want to do it, people will always talk. True. However much you want to paint a picture that you're the nicest person, people will always say the negative thing in you. So one thing I would like to tell our viewers today is that never give up on what you're doing. Never give in to the negative and to whatever people are saying. Just focus on what you're doing. Focus on what is working for you, you see. And as they say that men make home where they find peace. So when you find peace, you just make it home. And don't listen too much to people. Even if you do anything possible that you can do to please men, they will still talk evil about you. So we moved in as now we are going to be man and wife, you see. And now our children, we worked it out.
Before we moved in with him, I got some opportunity over the weekends. I would take my kids out, so I would tag him along. So I somehow introduced them. They knew the face before before I invited him to live with us. So as in before now us agreeing to live together. So what happened when we were meeting out there, at some point I was telling them, I have boys. So I was telling them, this is a friend of mine. So the way kids would normally call him uncle, so they used to call him uncle. So they used to go swimming. They would just have fun with him, and he was interacting with them very, very well. And then I have an elder boy who is slightly older, probably because I have 3 boys. So the other 2, somehow they were relatively young. So maybe they could not really understand too much about our relationship. But then I took time, I explained to my other big boy, who was in class 7 at that particular time. That was 13 years. He was around 13 years. So I considered him to be a bit grown up. So I took my time and I told him, now you understand what happened to me and your dad. And by the end of the day, I would need to settle down with somebody else, because whatever happened between me and your dad is irreparable. So life has to move on. And mommy is here with somebody else. I met him. I'm sure you have interacted with him. You've seen him. So I find your mom has found this guy to be a friend, a good person that I can stay with. So yeah, I would just request that you respect him. You know, the way you can talk with your son, just to try to put him in tune with whatever is happening. And my son was very, very calm, very welcome. Okay, basically my kids are very welcoming, very friendly, and according to now how he is, so they basically liked him, his personality and the way he would play with them. So they just got along with him.
My kid stays with their mother, even to date. They stay with the mother, so we never moved with our kid, but I always take care of him. I always provide for him wherever they are with the mother. So we never moved in together with my kid. When we did with the introduction, Now it was time to introduce our parent, because it was me and her that we introduced ourselves to our parent. Now it came time we introduced our parent. Then that's how things started. I took my parent to their home in Machakos, and then now the Wazees met, and then they talked about the rulership, what they needed, and what we should take to the home. And everything was okay. Then we went back and now started planning on how we will do it. And then a day came that we had planned for the rulership. And we went to Machakos again, and we gave their parents whatever they had requested from us.
So what really happened is the first time I introduced him home, when we were dating, when we were dating until the time we decided to move in, before we started living together, we identified a pastor, because the church that he was going to, he had stopped going there. You see,
Actually, was excommunicated
yeah,
from
he
the
was,
church.
he was excommunicated from the church that he was in. So what happened at this particular time, he decided to, he's the one who guided me, because at that time I was not going to church. I was not a believer. I was not saved like him. You know, I met him as a pastor. He was a pastor. When we met, he was a pastor. So me, I had my other life. But then now, when we came together, somehow we agreed. So he told me he would love us to identify a church where we would be going, all of us together with our children. So we met this pastor, and this pastor was really welcoming. He prayed for us even as we were moving in to live together. He prayed for us. So we somehow started the whole journey in terms of now the rural shows, the introductions. Even the first day that they came to our home, he came with our bishop, the bishop that we were with, and some of the church elders. Yeah, so now after that is when now the second day, after the first day, because I think things were just flowing, things were moving, I would say, fast. But then now after the introduction is when they requested that if they can be allowed to bring their wazees now for now the official part of introduction and getting to know their people from his sides. Yeah, so they were given a date. So when they came back, so he talked to his parents. That was after we had gone to see the parents. So because when we met with the parents advised him that you need to go officially to her home, just to get to make her parents know that you are with their daughter officially, not just on phone. Yeah, so which is what we did, and then what followed was now taking his parents, coming to our home after the date was set. So they came. So on this day, because we knew, at the back of our mind, we knew, him being a pastor, and we really knew what our future holds, because we had really talked, we had interacted in many other plans we would like to have for our family. Yes, and our marriage. So we asked our parents if they can tell them to just give them a go ahead to come again for now the official rural, whereby they will bring now the dowry. So on this day, my parents had prepared a list of things, of the things that they expect them to bring. So they were given a list. So this was the day that they took the list. And then they planned now for another day, which is now the official rural day, of which now after that day, now they were given a go-ahead. We are allowed now to start our wedding plans.
that time, when we went for Rorashio, we were in Meru. And then we were planning for our wedding in Meru. But we moved to Nairobi after a short time. So it's like we canceled the plan that we had. When we moved to Nairobi, we had to start again. Now in Nairobi, we don't have friends. The friends that we had in Meru, the church that we had in Meru, we just left them there. So we had to start again from scratch. So it's kind of, we take like not less than a year. It took less than a year to plan everything. But when we moved now in Nairobi, we identified a church in Syokimau. That's where we were living. So we identified a church in Syokimau. And this church actually helped us so much. And the church that was in Meru, where we were now fellowshipping before we moved to Nairobi, they help us in one way or the other. But the wedding plans took like 4 months, if I can say so. It took 4 months because we had prepared everything. Me and my wife, we had planned our wedding, how we want it to be. So most of the things we did for ourselves. We looked for the best couple. They also helped us in a big way. They came in, then most of the things, like I've said, the service providers, we just sourced them for within a short time. And because by that time, God and make a way. We had some breakthrough. So we just paid for some things. And that's why the wedding plans moved very fast. So we never wanted to bother so many people. Yeah. Before we met, I had a church that I was fellowshipping, you see, where I was even serving as a home cell pastor and as a youth pastor. You see, I had a church. But now when we started now dating with her, and the stories that were within that area, the pastor, who was my pastor by then, he excommunicated me. So I felt bad. I really felt bad because instead of supporting me and asking me where we can come in and counseling me and guiding me, they just excommunicated me. So I felt bad and I stopped even going to church for some time. And then there's this friend of mine who was a reverend by that time by the name Reverend Evans Mwenda from Meru. He had a different church. Was not a branch of the other one that I used to fellowship. It's a different church. He came and looked for me. Then we talked. And then he prayed for me, guided me. And then now I brought in my new girlfriend by then. And then he prayed for us, and then he restored us. Then I went to look for the other pastor that excommunicated me, and then we sorted out our issues. We forgave each other. Today we are friends. Today we are good friends. I can say that. I always visit the church. But that time, I felt that they have disowned me. So you see now this other pastor, the Reverend Mwenda, he looked for me, he prayed for me, he encouraged me, he walked the journey with me, you see. And from that point, we started now fellowshipping in this other church. And now they supported us during even our Rorashio. They were there for us. They walked the journey with us. And now when we moved to Nairobi, it was not the branch of this church from Meru, but a different church now. And we now started fellowshipping from that church. It was a different one from the one that used to fellowship in Meru. But now pastors became friends, you see. Now this pastor from Meru added us over to this other pastor, Pastor Tumaini now. He added us over to Pastor Tumaini, where we started serving and fellowshipping there until today.
Like he said, we had about 4 months to plan for the wedding because we took about 4 months after our Rorashio. And what happened, it was just a coincidence that during those planning period, where I was working, a colleague of mine was wedding. So we got to interact with him and I understood the plans. I was very keen to know how he's getting along with planning for his wedding. And given that I would say I was not very new in Nairobi, but then now the fact that we are planning our wedding and we were coming from a different town together with him, so I felt I needed some guidance. So through him, as we were planning his wedding, now my colleague, I got to understand on the procedures that he was using. So I went for his option because his option was where we picked as our wedding, as his wedding venue. He had, it was a whole package in terms of if you take the venue to do your wedding, they will do the catering, you will do the reception, you will also do the photo session in one place. So to me, I felt like it was a relief in terms of running all over looking for sujui service providers and stuff like that. So I felt this one that is coming as a package was easier, also considering the time that we had at hand. So we went to that venue with him. Of course, we went there because he was trying to follow up on his wedding plans. But again, I went there myself also to get to know how the charges are, and I met the management. And I liked it, and when I came back and I shared with him, he loved the idea. When we also met with our best couple, who were very instrumental and they were very keen to know on how we are doing our plans. So we shared the same ideas with them and they were very welcome. And you see now we looked at it like the finances were there. So we just went for those. Apart from now, the part of now the gowns, like my wedding gown and the bridal team. The bridal team, a friend of mine introduced me to a fundi, someone who had done for a friend of hers. So we went and did everything there. So basically what happened when we chose our bridal team, what we did, because we had a short time, we made sure we are choosing people who are not complicated, who will not like pull us slow in terms of time, in terms of giving. So we made sure that we are selecting people that will give us a smooth, a smooth flow. So when we selected those people, but at the same time, when we committed with the fundi, what we did, we paid with our money, and then these guys were paying slowly. But then by the time everything was within a month, we had in fact, 1 month to our wedding, we had everything in place, like literally everything in place. Yeah, so basically it was that smooth. I thank God I met people who were very helpful, and somehow I found it to be very, very smooth. I never faced any hard time when I was planning for my wedding. Through my friends, through my workmates, my family members, anybody that I told them that we have started this plan, anybody that I approach or he approached or we approached as a couple, any person that we approached in terms of the planning that we were doing, nobody, as in everyone was very supportive. So I would say the support was very overwhelming all around, from our family members, from our parents, from my, I would say, even my brothers and sisters. They really, really supported me. And my colleagues, they came all out. And you see now, like I remember the colleague that was planning for a wedding before us. I was involved in the planning of his wedding. So some of the people that we were planning his wedding with, they joined my team. So somehow it was very smooth, just flowed, because my colleague's wedding was Like, I mean, our wedding was just a month after my colleagues. So it was just very soon. So I just got support from many people.
What I can advise young people that are yearning to get married and that want to be in marriage. One thing, look for somebody whom you can flow with, someone whom you can love the rest of your life. Now, someone whom you can sit down together and plan for your family. You know, planning a wedding is a one-day event, but after wedding, there is life. After wedding, you see. Now, you can plan for a wedding with people. People can support you, but now you need to sit down and ask yourself, how are we going to live after this day? You see. So you need someone whom you can sit down and talk to. You need someone whom you can reason together with. You need to get a wife, or you need to get a man whom is not going to, let me use the one like overshadow you, and someone who can sit down and listen to you when you talk. Someone who can sit down and hear what you have. Someone whom you can make decisions together with. Because in marriage, you will reach a time when you need to sit down and talk together, discuss issues, because issues will always come. I'll say that marriage is not a bed of roses. There are thorns in marriage. And these thorns, you need to look away on how to handle them. So there will come challenges, there will come air upside down, but you need now to look for someone whom you can sit down and talk to, whom you can discuss issues with, whom even you can invest with. Marriage is not about making love and enjoying. You need also to invest, you see. Because this thing is not going to end in 2 years. It's not going to end in 5 years. It's a lifetime thing. Until, when we take vows, people say that until death do us apart. You see. So it's until death do you apart. So you need someone whom you can stay with for long time. Don't love someone because of money. Don't love someone because he or she has some good looks. No. Love someone whom you know that your heart is connected with and you can flow in the same direction with. Yeah.
I think I am so keen about the single mothers out here. I have been a single mother for quite a long time. And you know, when you get from a broken marriage, most of us, we get broken, just as like the marriage has been broken. So our hearts get broken and you feel like you cannot love anymore. There's that bit of, you feel like you have children. Like for my case, I had 3 boys. And I think our society is I would say, is very funny. You would hear people say, the fact that I have 3 boys, who will marry you with boys? You know, the society, the way the society perceives is like, if you have maybe one girl, one baby girl, probably it's easier to get married, because maybe you would think when you get into another marriage, that when the child grows, they'll be married and they'll go. So there's that bit, like people feel when you have a boy child, it will be very hard for you to be married. I would say it happened to me, and my story is always an encouragement to somebody out there. Let people know that, from my story, let people know that there is always a second chance. It doesn't matter whether you have a boy or girl. It doesn't matter whether you have 1, 2, or 3, or even 5 children. I am sure you can be loved by anybody who has loved you, because when it comes to love, much as there are children there, the love starts between the two of you. even before the children comes in. So children are not an issue, and people should not give up on love. Like for me, I told myself, yes, my first marriage didn't work. My first relationship didn't work. But then I didn't give myself, and I didn't tell myself like I will never love again. No, because from my experience, there's loneliness. You get to a point and you just feel like you really need somebody. You see, like somebody to consult with. You see, sometimes when you're raising up your children, you need somebody you can sit down and discuss probably about anything, about any development about your children. Maybe it's education, maybe it's character. Like for my case, I was raising boys. I really wished to have a father figure for my children. Yeah, so it is something that I was very open to. But then you have to pray such that God connects you to the right person, because people are also not so good out here. People can be really be as in opportunistic. Somebody can look at you, maybe you're doing well, and they can think like, oh, mi nikipatana na huyu mama I will benefit. You see, they look at the things that they can benefit from you. But then when you pray and when you meet with this person, I'm sure God will give you the wisdom to get to know who you're interacting with, and who this person you're getting closer with, and who this person you're bringing to your children as a father, because he'll not be a biological father, but he will come in as a father figure, and he will definitely be a mentor to your children, be it girls or boys. So the priority is just to pray, and also not to give up, because you cannot raise your children alone. You really need somebody to be by your side, because you cannot decide everything by yourself. You need somebody who can help you sit down and plan things.
So, my beautiful wife, my queen, the one and the only that I love, we have gone through a lot in this journey. We have gone through challenges and challenging situations, and it has not broken us. And even today, I want to assure you, I want to let you know that I still love you so, so, so much. And I will love you forever. No matter what, I'll remain by your side. No matter what we go through, no matter the challenges that we go through, I will always be there for you. Just know from the depth of my heart, I love you so, so, so much. You're the woman that I've always prayed to have. You're my dream woman, and I'll spend the rest of my life with you, baby.
Oh,
I love you so, so much.
I love you too, baby.
Yes, and I want to assure you that nothing will ever separate us, no matter what. Anytime nimekukosea, I will always be there to humble myself and say sorry to you. Even those times that maybe you may wrong me, I will always be there to forgive and to reconcile with you. I love you so, so much.
I love you too, baby.
Thank you, baby.
Babe.
Yes.
Okay, I always remember the first time I met you, baby. It is still in my mind. And the smile that I saw has forever been in my mind. And being with you has just been a paradise, baby.
Wow.
It has been so wonderful. I enjoy being with you. Thank you, baby, for loving me the way I am. Thank you for loving my children, now our children. Thank you for being a support system to our family. Thank you, baby, for standing in even when I am down. You know very well there are moments that I have really, really cried. There are moments that we've been down in terms of financially, but you have stood to be a very strong pillar in our family. And babe, the most striking part, baby, thank you for being the priest of our house.
Wow.
Thank you for the many prayers you have done for this family, for us. Every time you kneel down to God to pray for us, it melts my heart. It shows how much you love us, baby, how much you love our family. And I just want to thank you for what you do. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the sacrifices, the nights that you spend praying, the days that you spend, even the many hours you spend trying to look for a living for us as a family. Thank you so much. And today, I just want to tell you, I love you infinity. I love you just so much.
Wow.
Yes. And you alone.
Thank you. You're
Only
the best
you.
woman. You're the best woman, baby.
Thank
I'll
you,
love you
baby.
forever.